Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're diving straight into an incredibly practical module from the BOC Digital Skills Portal. Our ultimate goal here, we're going to take your daily calendar chaos and turn it into a strategic, totally stress-free masterpiece. I mean, we've all been there, right? You log in on a Monday morning, you open your schedule, and your stomach just drops because you're staring at this solid wall of blue blocks with literally zero breathing room. If you've ever looked at your work week and felt that instant wave of panic, well, you're in exactly the right place. So let's fix that.
Picture this scenario. It's Thursday, exactly 2 p.m., and you're staring down the barrel of a massive, red alert, triple-booked calendar collision. You've got 3 separate meetings. They're all demanding your attention at the exact same time. And guess what? You are the one responsible for untangling this mess. You can practically feel the sweat forming on your forehead when you realize you're expected to somehow physically be in 3 places at once. It's basically the ultimate administrative nightmare.
And that brings us to the million-dollar question we're tackling today. How do you fix this without absolutely ruining a professional relationship? Because here's the catch. You can't just indiscriminately cancel meetings. I mean, sure, firing off quick cancellation notices might clear your schedule, but it sets off this really dangerous ripple effect. It messes with office politics, it delays critical projects, and honestly, it ultimately chips away at your professional reputation. You've got to untangle this high-stakes game of calendar Tetris without stepping on any toes. So let's hit pause on that 2 p.m. panic attack and equip you with the absolute foundational rules for managing these clashes.
Section 1. Rules of Meeting Triage. Let's cover the prioritization basics. Okay, so the golden rule of calendar management, according to the BOC portal, is actually wonderfully simple. External client meetings almost always take precedence over internal, team-based meetings. So, if you're ever in doubt, the external commitment wins the slot. Why? Well, because external clients directly represent revenue, business growth, and frankly, your brand's reputation. When you shift an external meeting, it kind of signals disorganization to the outside world. Internal teams, on the other hand, they operate with a lot more grace and flexibility. They understand the business needs to thrive, so they're usually going to readily forgive a reschedule. This is really your first best layer of defense.
But hey, what happens if both overlapping meetings are internal? Well, this is where you apply the urgent versus important matrix. When you're faced with an internal tie, you need to weigh the urgency against the importance. Let's look at this practically. Urgent means it's immediately time-sensitive, like say a sudden website outage that needs fixing right this second. Important, however, is usually dictated by seniority and long-term impact. Think along the lines of a Q3 strategic planning session with a vice president. Remember, not every conflict is a true crisis. You have to actively decide, does this meeting need to happen right now to stop a fire, or is it just highly significant and can securely wait until tomorrow?
Moving on to Section 2, the art of rescheduling, how to pivot professionally.
You know, deciding which meeting moves is really only the first phase of the battle. The true art form is how you professionally execute that pivot. Step 1. Always secure your manager's explicit approval first. Why? Because you're essentially borrowing their authority. If anyone gets upset, your manager has your back. Step 2. Proactively reach out to the internal party first to propose a new time. Doing this directly, rather than just firing off an automated system update, preserves the relationship and humanizes the whole interaction. Just be honest and apologetic. And step 3, ensure every single attendee is notified promptly. The absolute worst-case scenario is letting a colleague show up to an empty virtual room. That's just completely wasting their valuable time.
Now, if you're sitting there staring at a blank screen, wondering how to word that delicate apology without sounding, too informal or way too stiff, you can totally lean into AI. To speed up this communication, try using a tool like ChatGPT with a prompt exactly like this. Write a professional email rescheduling an internal team meeting that conflicts with a client call. Using AI like this helps completely remove the emotion and the anxiety from drafting an apologetic cancellation email. It saves your valuable cognitive energy, it nails the tone perfectly, and it gives you a great template you can just quickly adapt to your specific workplace scenario.
Section 3. Building calendar buffers. Time for some proactive defense.
All right, now that we know exactly how to react to a collision, let's shift to playing proactive defense so these overlaps stop happening in the first place. The real secret weapon to protecting your sanity is actually a number. Specifically, implementing a 10 to 15-minute buffer block. Why is 15 minutes the magic number? Well, it all comes down to the cognitive switching penalty. That's the actual scientifically documented time it takes for the human brain to transition its focus from one complex topic to an entirely different one. Plus, let's be real, it accounts for the basic biological necessity of grabbing a glass of water, stretching your legs, or just taking a deep breath between deep dive sessions.
The BOEC portal highly recommends actively adding these buffer blocks between meetings on shared calendars. Think of these green light buffer zones as your calendar's immune system. It's a great way to think about it. By building them into your day, they automatically reject conflicting, back-to-back meeting invites before you even have to see them. This way, scheduling errors become highly visible long before they ever erupt into a crisis, preventing your colleagues from accidentally squeezing a last-minute meeting into your only fleeting moment of downtime.
Finally, Section 4, Solving the 2 p.m. Crisis. It's resolution time.
So, armed with our rules of triage and our proactive defense strategies, let's jump right back into the hot seat and finally solve that Thursday puzzle we started with. To recap, the contenders for our 2 p.m. slot are a client product demo, an internal budget review, and a manager one-on-one check-in. 3 meetings enter, but only 1 can claim the hour. Let's effortlessly apply our new BOC hierarchy and see exactly who stays. And we have a winner. The client product demo automatically wins the 2 p.m. slot. Honestly, what an incredible relief it is to have a golden rule that makes this decision so incredibly easy, right? Because as we established earlier, external client commitments represent revenue and reputation, so they will absolutely always take precedence over internal ones. That one stays completely locked in the calendar. Boom! Conflict 1, instantly resolved. That leaves us with the remaining 2 internal meetings to sort out. And this is exactly where you walk through your brand new rescheduling playbook. You're going to need to have a quick conversation with your manager. You go to them and say, hey, this budget review has some urgent, time-sensitive fires we need to put out today. Does that urgency outweigh the importance of our standard one-on-one check-in? Once your manager makes that call and gives you the cover you need, you simply move the lower priority meeting to an open slot. Just like that, you've taken a massive, stressful conflict and resolved it smoothly using a logical framework, all while preserving every single professional relationship in the process.
By mastering these prioritization frameworks and communication tools, you are taking complete control of your day, rather than letting your schedule dictate your stress levels. So next time you face a double booking, remember these steps, take a breath, and manage the conflict like an absolute pro. Now, I want to leave you with one final, very important thought about your own professional schedule to reflect on. Are you running your calendar, or is your calendar running you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you reclaim your time.